Hi, everybody. I am Keisha L. Hayes Hagans, and I am so grateful to be here today. This is the Boldly Inspired Aging that I bring to you every Thursday at 9 p.m. Excuse me. I'm thinking I'm still in the morning time. I might be half asleep, who knows? But 9 p.m. every Thursday evening. So I just want to check a couple of things. I want to make sure that you can hear me. So if anybody is listening and you can definitely hear me, say yes, you can in the comment. And I am going to look at our other streams to make sure that we're good to go. So I also want to bring on some another person as a guest tonight. Before I do that, I just want to tell you that, I hope each of you had a happy Mother's Day. I hope you enjoyed the week and the weekend. I hope that you loved on yourselves as well as other people loving on you. And not just for Mother's Day, but for every single day. Okay. And I hope that you all are finishing the week out strong and that you're going to do something grateful. Um, you're going to be grateful and do something great this weekend. And I want to say happy birthday to my daughter, Sanai. I know you all saw me post that on Facebook today, but she turned 24 today. So let's say happy birthday to my daughter. I was with my daughter for 10 years before my wonderful son came along. And she was kind of hurt by that because she was so used to being the only child. But they're best of friends now and they get along really great. So I'm proud of her, proud of what she's doing, and I just want to give a shout out to her. So she is a nurse as well, and she does some traveling as a nurse. And so we're very grateful for the service that she is imparting on to the people that she's taking care of. So those of you who are not watching now but will watch during the replay, I want you to put hashtag replay in the comment section. And I hope you get something great out of this live. Once again, this is Keisha L. Hayes Hagans. I'm bringing you Boldly Inspired Aging every Thursday at 9 p.m. Okay. Every day, I want you to wake up. I want you to be grateful for something. I want you to do something for yourself. And I want you to always know through Christ, you can do anything. So let's get started. I want to bring my special guest. His name is Lashun Shipman to the stage. Welcome, Lashun. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, everybody, this is Lashun Shipman. He's a realtor and everything else. I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell everybody what you're doing. Tell them how we met, and then just whatever else you want to say before we get started on our topic today.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. I'm LaShawn. I am a real estate agent, a loan officer, and entrepreneur. I
Awesome.
actually met Keisha. Wow, it's been what, 4 or 5 years now? five
Yes.
years.
Yeah, 5 years.
Um, when I relocated to Tennessee and was starting a virtual assistant business, and a mutual friend of ours connected us, and I got the great opportunity of helping her with a lot of things in her business. And we've been
Yes.
really great friends since.
That's right. I am so grateful for LaShawn. LaShawn came at a time when I was just not trusting of a lot of folks, of a lot of things. And, he came in and he let me know that what he said he was going to do, he did it. He did it with excellence. He was always there for me. He got me. Like he understood and he knew that I was this type of person that was very particular about what it is that I want. And I like things systematic and I like things very organized. And he was that way as well. So he could understand. He came into my business and he created some of everything that was in my mind. He made it come to fruition. And I am grateful for him because one of the things that he did that was so fantastic for us was, of course, the post-secondary school that we own. that teaches healthcare curriculum, we wanted to have the students file a replica of that on the computer. We wanted to be able to be anywhere in the country, out of the country, and be able to go on this app and see what, some of the data was about our students. So we used a company called Media Shield. We created a platform that's a CRM. He was instrumental in doing that. We're still using it. It's bigger and better today. Now we have all of our classes on that system, and we're doing some very great interactive things and enhancing it. And it has just been wonderful. So, all of the systems, all of the great things that we're doing now, it started with LaShawn being able to be our backbone. So, welcome, LaShawn. Thank you so much for that. So, today we're going to get into our topic, and it is bold care. So, I want you to take some notes and interact with us, and we're going to get started, okay? So, when we talk about bold care, that's a part of those 6 pillars. And bold care is caring for others without losing yourself, okay? So, we want to make sure that you understand that you got to have a filled cup before you can actually pour out to other people. So, LaShawn, being my special guest, I am so grateful that he's doing this particular pillow with me because he knows what it feels like to have a cup. Sometimes it's full, sometimes it's empty, sometimes
Mhm.
we don't know. So, talk to us about that, LaShawn.
Um, well, it can get very hard because someone like me, I really love helping people. I feel like it's my purpose to help people in any way that I can. And I think what I've learned has been to make sure I don't forget about myself.
Right. Right. What are some of the things that you do to make sure you set those boundaries so that you are first, and so that you have the energy and you have what's necessary to give to others? And it's nothing wrong with helping other people, serving other people, but you have to, like you said, make sure that you're taking care of yourself. What are some of the things that you do to do that?
Um, for starters, it has been telling myself that it is okay to take a break.
Oh, yes.
Um, People like us that are very driven and have a lot of ideas, sometimes we feel bad when we do take that time to regenerate ourselves. So I have to remind myself that it's okay to take a break and it's honestly necessary in
Right.
order to get to the next step.
That's exactly right. I know I can really relate to what you're saying about being able to be okay with, saying no to different things and being able to take a break and replenish myself. Sometimes when people ask you to do things or they ask you to fulfill certain things, you feel like you have to answer yes to everything that's coming your way because
Mhm.
you want to, it's not about people pleasing, but you want to be able to show people that you'll be there for them. And if you have a heart like ours, because I know your heart is very pure and genuine, when you have a heart like ours, you just have that servant heart and you want to pour into others and give to others because you think about the times that no one poured or gave to you. So
Mhm.
you want to be there for that person. So I get it. And when we talk about bold care today, I know that when people hear the term care, they automatically go to caregiving in healthcare. But bold care is how we care for people in business, how we build relationships. It's also about leadership, and it's just about everyday life. And one of the things that I wanted to ask you is to tell us a little bit about your story of how you began doing what you're doing now in real estate and what's so important for you when it comes to building relationships.
Okay. Well, I began my life journey of helping people actually in human resources. I was with the company and I was able to get into the HR field, and I really enjoyed that because it was very fulfilling helping people step into a career and be able to provide for their families, and make a difference in their life.
Hmm.
So when I bought my house, my real estate agent, she looked very happy and like she had that same feeling that I had when I started my HR career. And at the time, I was kind of tired of traveling all the time and not being able to be home. Um, and I just started asking her questions about the field and shadowed along with her a little bit to see like what a life of a real estate agent would be like. And I jumped for it. I studied, I took the class, I failed. But I didn't let that stop me. I kept
That's right.
studying and kept going for it. And then I ended up resigning from my job and getting into the field. And I don't regret it at all.
That's
I'm very
awesome.
happy that I did that because it's very rewarding helping people who never thought that they would be homeowners become a
Yeah,
homeowner, because I know that's how I felt. You know, when I was in the process of buying my home, I couldn't believe that I was actually doing it because I
right.
was actually one of the few people in my family that own a home.
Yeah.
So that feeling is what I enjoy every time that we get to the closing table and I get to see the smile, or we're looking at homes and I get to see the kids running around the yard
Yes.
and saying that this is my room, this is going to be my
Mhm.
room. That, things like that is very rewarding.
That's amazing. I know it was a bit scary and intimidating at first to leave what you started, but like you said, you don't regret it. Sometimes you have to move out on faith, and God will do the rest. If He sees that you're putting forth the effort, He will meet you there, and then He will supersede exactly everything that you're asking for, and you have something that you can relate to your customers that you're helping, because as you mentioned, you have established owning a home. You're one of the few in your family that have that, so now you're helping other people be able to live the dream that you have lived. I know how amazing I felt when I got my own home. I remember talking to my pastor and telling him that I wanted a home, and I was saying to him at the time that I was um, getting it, that I didn't think that I would qualify because there were some things that I had done that didn't make my credit favorable. And I remember him telling me a story about someone else in his family that thought that they might have needed him to help them sign for something, but when they got there, it ended up where that didn't even show on their report. So he said, just pray about it and let God lead you. So I remember praying about it, telling God my desires, and next thing you know, I'm signing on a new home in 2021 with the 2.75 interest rate.
You better
Unheard
keep
of
that interest rate.
in the pandemic. And so I know that God can do all things, and I know that you know when you step out on faith and you believe, he will definitely do it for you. So I thank you for sharing that. I do want to say that, you know not just caregiving and healthcare, like we mentioned, but how we care for people in business, like you're doing with your real estate company, how you're building relationships with these individuals that you're taking to the closing table. I want to mention that, as we talk about bold care, people are constantly needing something from us. Okay.
Mhm.
Whether it's in our marriage, whether it's motherhood, whether it's fatherhood, people are always needing things from us. And like we talked about earlier, a lot of people know how to pour into others, but they don't know how to refill themselves. Okay. And we just pointed out, and I want our guests to know, please make sure that you pour back into yourself, you refill yourself, and don't be guilty about having to do that, because you cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot be good for anybody else if you're not good for yourself. And those of you who are just joining, this is Lashun Shipman. He is a person of many talents. I wanted to bring him on today because he has worked closely with me in business, understands what it means to serve people while also building his own dreams. Okay. Um, but I want you all to know we're talking about bold care out of those 6 pillars. And, I want to recap that people often think care only happens in healthcare settings, but that's not the case. Bold care shows up in customer service, leadership, business relationships, real estate, like LaShawn is talking about, everywhere. Okay. So we're having these great discussions, and I want to hear from you all about what bold care means to you while LaShawn answers that question. What does bold care mean to you, LaShawn?
To me, it means making sure that while you are pouring into others, you put yourself in their shoes.
Yes.
And I apply that in real estate. Whenever I'm dealing with, my clients, I think about the things that I needed or wanted when I was buying a home, um, and how my experience may have or could have been better. So to me, bold care really means understanding that you have to put yourself in other people's shoes to really
I really
help them.
like that. I really do. Sometimes we have this set way of how we want to do things, but every person we're serving needs something different. So we have to make sure we are thinking about what their needs are, but also thinking about what it would feel like if, I was in their position. So that's wonderful. The next question I want to ask you is, how do you serve people without being drained or becoming drained?
I've learned to set boundaries. I've
Okay.
learned that, set expectations up front. I let my clients know now that, hey, I'm available from this time to this time. And after this time, I'm usually trying to spend time with my family. That way I can manage their expectations up front. And I let them know that they can still contact me via text if they have a question, because if they're anything like me, I may be going to bed at 11 p.m., but I have 10 questions that just popped up in my head. So it's
Yes.
fine to text that to me, but I just won't respond until, when I am working. That way I have that time to pour back into myself, and they understand that I'm not ignoring them.
Right. I love that. I love that. The CRM system that you helped us create through Media Shield, we have students who have that system. They text us throughout the day, all night long. But I sometimes, have this habit of when I'm up, I still respond to them. So I've gotten them in this routine, some of them, that they can do that and they're looking for a response. And I had to say the other day to one person, I will respond to you when we open up at 9 a.m. in the morning. So, you have to set boundaries. And when you start actually growing in your business and you have so many other things that God is placing on your plate, y- you can't do it all. You got to have other people help you, but you also have to you can't be accessible all the time. You
Mhm.
have to set those boundaries and be able to um, stick with them. Because if you're setting them and not sticking with them, it doesn't do any good. And no is a complete sentence. No, you don't have to explain anything to anybody. Uh, I'm learning that. You don't have to explain why you can't do something. You don't have to explain why it's no. It's just no.
Mhm.
No is a complete sentence. So I wanted to go into, why do you think that genuine care is missing in certain businesses today?
I think that it is missing in certain businesses today because we don't see our customers as people anymore in
Hmm.
some industries. We see them as another transaction, or we see them as a dollar, or just another file. Um, and I think that when we start to think like that, we lose that customer relationship that is very valuable to sustain your business.
That's exactly right. I agree with that. You know, I feel like we have become so robotic in what we do and how we do certain things that we miss the reason behind why we do it. And I see it often in healthcare. I'm sure you see it in real estate and everything else that you do. And I'm sure everybody that's working in some field sees it. With staffing shortages now and people having to work longer hours, work short staff with fewer people, it's like, let's just get this task done and be done. We're not really understanding, I'm doing it for Mr. So and so or Mrs. So and so. These people are humans. I could be them one day. How does it feel for me? Or how does it going to look for me to have that same treatment? And I should put myself in their shoes, as you mentioned earlier. So, we don't take time to stop for a moment to see and to know what our actions are doing to the people that we are serving. And I often relate how I serve people to me serving God. You know, I know I work for a supervisor, or I know I report to somebody, but ultimately, if I don't do certain things, am I making him proud? Am
Hmm.
I satisfying the work that I need to do for him, the higher calling that I report to, you know, um, above anything else? And I think sometimes people don't realize that they may need this very same service one day in the future. What you reap, you're going to sow it. So you got to sow good seeds to reap a good harvest. Because if you're planting bad seeds, you're going to expect to get that. Um,
Hmm.
and people may forget your product, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Who said that? Maya Angelou? Yeah, I said it differently, but um, you know, somebody said that, but I'm telling you, how you make a person feel, they're going to remember that. You can have the best healthcare training school, best real estate agency, best food um, truck service, whatever. If you made somebody feel like they are just nothing, they're not coming back to you. I don't care how good the service is.
Hmm.
So,
I I had a boss when I was in HR. This stuck with me. What she used to say. She said that the employees are not going to always remember what you said to them, but they're going to remember how you made them feel.
mhm,
So that I carry that with me all the time.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And care in business matters. Okay. Care in business matters. I don't know. I don't care what business you're performing or conducting or doing, it matters. Okay. And just like I said, they may forget whatever it is you're offering, but they will not forget how you made them feel. That's just a part of professionalism, okay? Just like when have someone reaching out to your business, you need to follow up with them. You need to, say whatever you say you're going to do, you need to do it. You need to stick to your word. You need to have compassion. You need to operate with integrity, you know, not just when
Hmm.
somebody's looking and when you want a good Google review, but, all the time. Customer experience is major. Word of mouth is major. I know the one thing that hurt me a few weeks back was, I have always gotten good reviews in my business, and if someone was upset about something, they always felt like they can come to us and we would fix it, because our businesses aren't in the business of hurting folks. And if we know that we're not doing something right, we're going to get it right. We just need to know. You need to tell us. But I was on this group on Facebook, and someone had tagged me because a person was looking for a nursing assistant school. And under her comment, someone said, please do not go to professional development and training services. And I was so shocked. I'm saying, okay, who in the world is this? But they had an anonymous character name, so I didn't know who it was. So they were hiding behind that. And they started saying all things about us, but I think the comment got deleted by the group, whoever manages it. But I responded because I had to protect the integrity and the reputation of my business. And I let them know, please make sure, if you have any questions about our programs, to reach us directly. If there's someone who feels like they're not satisfied, um, to come to us and let us know. We'll be happy to rectify it. I think that's a huge part of, once again, letting people know that you care about how they feel, you care about making things right with them. It's not
Mhm.
about how we look. It's all about how we serve, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, I agree.
So we want to go into something else a little different. We want to talk about burnout. Okay, this is a great discussion so far. I really appreciate your feedback. Those of you who are joining, this is Lashun Shipman. He used to work very closely with me in my business. He has his own company, had it as well at that time too. Learned a lot of things from him. He is in real estate, and he does many different things and very talented. Um, so burnout while being needed by everyone. We're going to talk about that. Burnout is very real, because we often sometimes are looked at as the strong one. Nobody really checks on us. We're running our
Yeah,
businesses. We're managing life. We get emotionally exhausted. Okay. So in healthcare, I always say sometimes the caregiver needs care too. So talk to me about burnout, and have you ever experienced that?
I have experienced that. I experienced that before I transitioned to real estate. I was giving so much to the company that I was with because I really believed in the company. I believed in what I did as a human resource manager. And that resulted in me not taking care of myself because I was so tunnel visioned and driven to make sure that I did a great job, to make sure that operations knew that I was there to support them. The employees knew that I was there to support them and make sure that they had a great working environment. And
Mm-hmm.
that led to me working around the clock a lot of times and maybe operating off 3 or 4 hours of sleep.
Mm.
Um, and I did that for 3 years and I got really burnt out.
Wow. So how did
Um,
you how did you come back to feeling energized to go on and move on to something different?
um, when I was in my transition, I honestly did take a lot of time to rest. I started doing things like exercising or trying to find a hobby, really create a life outside of work so I didn't feel consumed by work or helping other people all
Mm-hmm.
the time. So I made sure I carved out time for myself.
Awesome. I'm glad that you are back to who you have always aspired to be, and still growing, and still have so many more things that you are going to do. Sometimes the things that we go through in life help prepare and mold us for all that God has given us right now. So, I'm very proud of you. I do want to ask a couple of more questions before I go into these affirmations that I want people to remember and say to themselves often. We're talking about real estate and the field that you're in. I feel like real estate plus, the bold care connection that we're talking about, um, it, it's I mean, it's tied to everything that we've been saying. So I just want to know, how do you help families during the stressful transition that they're going through when they're buying a home? And why is trust so important in real estate? Because I'm sure they have to trust you to even come to you to want you to help them buy something, such a major purchase.
Yes. To answer your first question, I become kind of like their shelter. And
Okay.
what I mean by that is I've always been told like I have a very calming voice and I'm
Yeah.
so calm and people feel safe around me. So I feel like that is my superpower. And I use that in real estate. While they are feeling stressed and things like that, I take the time to listen to them and talk calmly to them through everything. I also try to not bring them problems because that heightens the stress. If there is a problem during the process, I find a solution first. And then I sit down with them and tell them what the issue is and make sure I walk through them how we're going to get through it so that way they don't have to panic or worry about how we're going to get to the next step so that we can close.
Awesome. Awesome.
Trust is very important because if you don't trust the person that you're working with to make this big purchase in your life, you're not going to really believe whatever they're saying to you.
That's
And you
right.
may not even feel confident that you made the right decision in buying this property.
That's true.
Um, so it's really important to trust whoever you're working with.
But how do you make those are great responses. I also wanna ask you, how do you make them feel seen and valued without making them feel like this is just a sale for you? I think you've talked about that throughout the whole conversation we've had this evening. I just want to stress that, because it's not just about, the product that we're giving them. It's about how we're making them feel in the process. How do you make them feel seen and valued through all of this?
What I did is I started making consultations mandatory. When I
Okay.
first got into real estate, we are in a digital world. Everybody wants things fast, fast, fast.
Yes, yes.
But I saw that there was a need to really like slow down when you're
Mm.
doing this. So I either meet with you in person or on a Zoom call or something. And I actually take the time to ask you questions, not just about what you're looking for, how much you want to spend, but I want to know, what do you do for a living? How did you grow up? Tell me about yourself. I really want to know about you
Right.
because we're going to be stuck like glue for the next couple months. So I
Yes.
really want to know, who is this person that I'm going to be working with for a while. And that has helped me grow my business because by doing that, people do feel seen because it makes them feel like I care more about than just selling them a house, which I do.
Hmm.
And it also makes them trust me because now they know that I understand what their needs are, their why, because that's
Right.
really important when you're doing anything. Why are you doing this? And then I also am vulnerable with them and kind of give them a background about myself other than, the professional accomplishments. I kind
Yeah.
of I kind of show them that they're working with a real person.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Excellent answer. And you have just been excellent just this whole conversation, giving some wonderful nuggets. I'm so proud of you. I'm so grateful that you decided to take this chance to come on this live with me and talk about bold care. You added something that I could not have And I really appreciate that. I am believing and praying and know that it's going to to fruition, that you're going to continue to do great things, and your business is going to exceed every dream that you've ever imagined it to be, and you're going to continue to embark on some amazing things. So just continue to do what you're doing. I love the fact that you are letting people know that you are real and that you've gone through things yourself to kind of relate to them so that they can open up and build that relationship with you and trust you in that regard. So you're doing everything right. Keep growing, keep developing, keep being who you are, keep having that pure heart and showing that authenticity. And I know you're going to be great, even beyond what you're doing right now. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So at this time, I just want to give our audience some strong sayings that they can keep with them. We're going to say goodbye to LaShawn. He's been a great guest. LaShawn, do you want to say anything to wrap up tonight before you leave?
I would say no matter what you guys are doing, whether you're working a 9 to 5 or you're an entrepreneur,
Right.
always understand your why, but also take the time to understand other people's why.
Yes. I love that. And you know, touch before you go, I got to get you to touch on why you said what you said. But I wanna know why you said it's important not only to remember their why, but to also know someone else's. Because it made me just think about so many different things. I want to hear it from you. This is important.
Um, for one, for me, it allows you to connect with them because
Yes,
you never know. You may be passionate about different things, but you may have the same reason why you're passionate about it. And it
right.
allows us to connect with each other as people.
That's right. That's excellent. You just never know who you're meeting, what they've gone through, why they're doing what they're doing, like you said. And once, you understand their why, you're telling them yours, you just never know where that connection can be. I think that's amazing, LaShawn. So, once again, thank you for all the nuggets you've left here today. Thank you for what you've been to our business. Thank you for everything that you've done so far to serve other people. And I know that you're going to be great at everything else that you're going to embark on in the future. Okay.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it. My
You're
first
welcome.
thing.
The first of many, the first of many. Okay. Because I'm telling you, authenticity, being genuine, having a pure heart, it's always room to grow and have more. And you're going to have that. You're going to have that. Okay. And as long as you're connected to me, I'm going to make sure you have that, okay?
I appreciate you more than you know.
You're welcome. Okay, have a good night.
You too.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. This was amazing. We were talking about bold care. We were with Lashun Shipman. I tell you, this has just been an amazing conversation. He's left some great nuggets. I want to give you some affirmations that you can remember before we close. I want to tell you that bold care is intentional care. Okay. You can be professional and still compassionate. Okay. Bold care is intentional care. You can be professional and still compassionate. I know sometimes people are wanting to be professional in business, and that's great. But you can still show compassion. It doesn't always have to be stern, but you can show that you genuinely care about someone else. Okay. Some people are assigned to change lives, not just make money. Okay. Oh my God. I know I've done a lot of things for a lot of people, and sometimes, I didn't reap any monetary means because of it, but they went on to do something that they always wanted to do. That's rewarding in itself. Okay. So remember that. A caring spirit. I don't know, but I have a gnat in here. But if you see me, flagging my hands. But a caring spirit will open doors that talent alone cannot. A caring spirit will open doors that talent alone cannot. I don't care how much talent you have. I don't care how many gifts you have. I don't care how you perfectly do whatever it is that you do. If you have a nasty attitude, if you don't care about people, you're not going anywhere. Okay? That's important. All right? So, I hope you enjoyed this live. I want you to think about, what we talked about and think about, have you ever experienced burnout from always helping others? If so, have you gotten past that? Do you think genuine care is missing in business today? Reflect on that and make sure you're not the person that's not giving the genuine care, okay? And then what's one way someone showed care to you that you never forgot? That's important. That may be your why behind what you do now because someone did something great for you. Okay? So I'm Keisha L. Hayes Hagens. I thank you so much for joining the live. I want you to remember before I leave that bold care is more than helping people. It's creating environments where people feel valued, heard, respected, and safe. Okay? And in a world that has become cold, let's remain people who still know how to care boldly. Okay? Let's not be one of the ones that are so cold. Until next time, you all have a wonderful night. I'll see you next week on Thursday at 9 p.m. Bye.